So, welcome back to Anonymous Repair. So, tonight we have a strange repair. We have, let me just leave the customer's details in the box. We don't need to show you guys that. So, we have an iPad, and I only need to half fix the iPad. I know it sounds strange. This iPad came into another company, which I shall not name, and what happened is the customer took it apart. They received it like this to replace the touchscreen, and after they opened it up, they noticed that, let me get this closer to you guys and in focus, they noticed that the touch connector cable is broken, so they couldn't repair this. Now they removed the LCD to show the customer that this connector is broken, but the problem is the LCD connector is broken as well. So they had, and it was turning on, had display. Now the customer blames them that they broke the iPad, and they must return it to them in the same condition they received it, but these are clearly damaged damaged connectors on here. So my job is just to get image back so that they can give it back to the client. So first things first, we need to disconnect the battery. Let's get the old earbud should do. Just lift up that connector. That screwdriver is way too big. So let's get the board out of the housing. They also supplied a donor board for me, so I can remove the connector from that board and place it onto this board. Let's remove these connectors. Even this connector down here is broken. Remove the top flex cable, so this board was definitely out already. And I also think that the little filters is blown in the back because these pins are fairly loose on here, so try not to get out of shot. Let's try to get this shield off. There we go. Battery connector looks okay. Right, so got it off. The filters should be in the bottom around here somewhere. Somewhere in this region here. We'll have a closer look under the microscope, but first we need to remove this old connector. Let's get some IPA and soak that plastic in some IPA, and it should make it easier to remove from the board. Looks like if there is two there's two plastic yeah, that's the second one off. We're gonna need to close down those two connectors. We'll probably need to tape up those two connectors so that we don't melt them when removing this connector over here. I hate these connectors. They are not easy to do, easy to work with, but we've got a job to do. We have to do the job. So let's get under the microscope and remove that connector. Again, as you can see under the camera microscope, that this whole connector on this side is broken. So we need to remove that, but first we need to close up these two connectors and get our hot air going so long. So I'm gonna close all four of them. By just adding some Captain tape over it. So that should keep it nice and clear from melting. So I've got it set to 380. Need to apply some flux to this. Should be more than enough. And maybe I'll flip it around so we get the heat off the board and not heating the board up completely the whole time. cut that off. No rib pads. It's always a good sign. Let's get the solder wick and the soldering iron on. Apply some more flux. Can never have enough flux. Right. That tip is too big. Let's go for a micro iron. I'm just going to pile up some solder on it. Get the lead-free stuff off so you can lower down the melting temperature of the solder, and then we can go with our wick. And clean up these pads. You guys can't see this. Those side ones are just moved over to my normal soldering iron. It's got more mass. It's easy to clean the pins, as you can see. I don't want to rub too much, because once you rub too much you start taking the solder mask off, and we don't want to end up there. So let's get a Q-tip. Clean off all the flux. And that looks good. Now we have to switch over to the donor board, get the donor board out so that we can remove that connector and put it on here. I don't have new connectors for this board, so the only option is from a donor board, and I don't like heating these connectors up from the top, so we'll see how we can manage to get that one removed. So let's switch back to the normal camera and take it from there. So this is the donor tablet. Let's get these screws removed. Try not to damage any of these connectors, so if the customer would like us to get this tablet up and running again, we could do that, but at this stage it's a blame game, and it's a difficult situation to be in. I don't think that the shop is actually should take this brunt. Of course, the customer did mess with it. We need to take this plastics off again. That's the first one. Oops. That's the second one. Alright. Now, just having a look and see how we can get this removed, because I actually don't want to heat this connector up from the top. Excuse me. So I think what we do is, let's start by covering up the connectors on the side. Just going to do it straight like that. Flip it over and remove the shield. The shield comes off way easier than the other one, so this shield was probably off before. There we go. It's removed. Flip it around. Get some flux on here. I want to bring it up. Right, so I just lifted off the bench. Sorry for my computer making a noise in the background. And now what I want to do is try and heat it from the bottom. Let's see if we can get this connected to lift off from the board without applying any direct heat to it. Take a while for it to release. It's coming now. That's it. Got it off. Let's just take this board out of the way. Set it somewhere safe. Now we have to get this connector back on here. That is the fun part. Let's try putting the connector on, and then let's apply some leaded solder on here. Line the connector up, and then we heat it from the bottom again. There's no underfill chips here. I'll just cover this part here in the bottom. And we heat it from the bottom up again and see if we can get that connector to flow back on. So let's get those pins tinned up and get the connector lined up, and we solder it from the bottom. So after we just clean this board, we're going to apply some flux again. And what you want to do is just apply some solder to all the pins. Mask it all. I know I'm adding too much, but that's just for to get some solder on the pins. We're going to clean this up again. Okay, so that should be enough. To line this connector back on here. Just like this. Focus. Actually would like to see the back of this connector. Let's see if we can get it opened up. Go connector open up. Try to line it again. That looks very good. Once we heat the board from the bottom, it should settle down nicely. So let's move back to, I don't know how we're going to do this. Maybe I suspend it off the edge of the table with the microscope over it. I think that's going to be the best option. So let me get this set up, and then we take it from there. Alright, so we got it hanging off on the end of the table. Now what I'm going to do is just slowly heat the board from the bottom. That's going to make the chute start pulling in. You can see it start moving. Just give it a slightly more heat on the ends because it's more thermal resistance on the end of this connector. Just give it a light tap. Okay. Give it to seat nicely. Alright, that should be it. I'm just waiting for it to cool down. Now it should be soldered into place, and we can check all these pins afterwards and see if they soldered nicely. But I think first we need to get some alcohol on here. Oops, still a bit too hot for that. A bit of alcohol on here. It will loosen up the flux as well, make the connector more manageable. That's the way I prefer to do connectors. I know there is some parts on the bottom, but that part should not be affected whatsoever. As long as you don't bump them off the board or bump the parts off the board, you should be really safe doing this. You need to power wash this connector a bit, get all flux out. Right, should do it. Let's turn it on its side. Get you guys in focus. That looks pretty good. So I'm holding the board at the angle, and I'm just checking all these pins. So we've got some too much hold over there and over there. So what we can do is just take the soldering iron, maybe need to apply a little bit of flux, tiny amount. Come on. Let's get a bigger tip in. We need to add some more flux as well. Just want to clean that pin up. That's good. Check the back ones. They all look good as well. You can remove the captain tape. Let's get you guys in focus down there again. Just take a toothbrush and just clean this flux off again. Just moving this connector slightly and get the flux between the pins to start releasing. And we'll just do this gently, not to overstrain the connector. It's going, there we go. That feels good. Lift it up again. There we go. That feels very good. Alright, let's get Q-tip and just clean this connector up. Let's check the board on the back side. The part seems to be here. Should take the meter quickly. It's do it on continuity. What I want to do is just check some of these. I think this one here is a filter. That's correct. Capacitor, 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 capacitor. This one here is a filter. Filter. These are capacitors. This is the backlight circuit. That looks good. These are the driver lines. That's all capacitors. Don't have any shorts on here. That's good. No shorts on here. So that looks all good. Now it's time to put it back in and hope that we get display, and that was the only problem. We won't have touch. I don't even have a touch a digitizer for this, so let's switch back to the normal camera and get it assembled. Okay, so let's just try this board up. So get that back shielding on. Let's make sure I'm taking the right one. Get this clip back. Looks good. Yeah, you guys can't see. You get some more light on here. Thanks for all the new subscribers. I really appreciate your new guys here and the old guys, obviously. You're always welcome on my channel. Must say thank you to my mate Vince again for the call out. He's a real good guy. Right, so I don't want to push down on that connector over there. So let's get that one in. Let's get this little antenna connected. This plug connected here. So yeah, this customer doesn't want to take responsibility for his own actions, and I don't want to get the company to pay for his mistakes, and I think that's completely wrong. This company wants to uphold the image, so I don't think they want to have too much fuss about this. I think they just rather pay me just to fix that little problem and give it back to the customer. People try to play hard to get sometimes, and they cause companies some damage. And this is one of this, definitely. I would not stand for this. If I opened this tablet, or tablet came like this, and the customer clearly messed with the tablet, I mean, there's no two ways about it. You could definitely see that somebody was trying to push this connector on the wrong side open and messed it up completely. Don't go in there. Still a little bit flux in that connector. This is a no clean flux, so you don't really need to remove it. So I'll wiggle this cable in and out a bit. Get that reminder of the flux out. Should be deep enough. Let's see if we can close that connector up. It's closed. The battery lined up. Damn it, wrong screwdriver. I'm actually just too lazy. My suitcase is this over there where I keep all my stuff in. I could just lean over, open it up and take the screwdriver out, but Alright. So wondering if this guy is flat. There's nothing on the screen. LCD. Let's get a lightning cable. Give it a few minutes and then we'll come back once we see something, if something's going on. I'll switch off all this noisy stuff so long. That is interesting. I wonder if somebody damaged this LCD. There's another LCD here. Maybe we must just give that one. Not sure what condition that LCD is. Maybe worth a shot. And just see what the other LCD does. Knock that out. This LCD looks good. Come on. Let's try. I use a power bank, so let's try the other side of this power bank. Not seeing anything. This is a bit worrying. Okay, I'm gonna put that screw back. I must have tested the battery, see what the voltage we got in the battery. But I was gonna put that screw back. Unplug the charger, replug the charger, and give it a few minutes. Let's see what happens. So just reseated this connector again. It went slightly deeper in, and now if I press the power button, we get the low battery symbol. So this is how far I can fix it. This is all I'm getting paid for. So I know it's weird, so it's half a fix, I presume. So that will be it for this video, and see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Cheers. So I gave it about 20 minutes or so charging time, and as you can see, it's turned on and it is working now. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Cheers.